What's up guys, Groovy Guitar Dude here. A few weeks ago when I was in Colorado, I made a little video where I was just kind of updating you guys on what I was doing and where the channel was going and stuff, and I mentioned that I might be doing a Q&A very soon, and so if you had questions to leave them in the comments down below on that video. Well, I got a ton of questions on that video. I totally didn't expect that. I was so stoked to be getting so many questions from you guys, so here it finally is, the Q&A video. Obviously you guys can see I'm not just at my regular home, I'm actually out at the beach, and so before we get into that Q&A video, I thought I would share a little bit of songs that I've been jamming on. So I'm gonna kind of take you guys with me through the day, kind of vlog style a little bit, but before we dive into that, here's a couple of songs I've been jamming on this week that I wanted to share with you guys. Alright guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that little beach jam. That's just a couple of songs I've been jamming on this week. Playing guitar on the beach is one of my absolute favorite things to do, so I thought I'd share a little bit of the vibe with you guys. So before we start, just to let you guys know, I have a little list here. I love handwriting things down, and so instead of just staring at my phone looking at you guys' questions, I wrote them all down because that's just the kind of thing I do. I write down pretty much everything. And so if you see me looking down, I'm just trying to keep a track of where I'm at so I don't just ramble the whole time and get off topic, and I can kind of keep track of where I'm at in our questions. So the first question I got a ton of. We're going to start with some guitar questions. The first one I got a ton of questions for is, when did I start playing guitar? I started playing guitar when I was about 13 years old. Next question was, where did I get the inspiration to start guitar? And really that actually came from, I had a lot of friends that played guitar. That was around when I was in junior high, I think around 7th grade or something like that. And a lot of my really close friends at the time played guitar, and I'd always loved music, but I just really hadn't picked up an instrument or anything. And so I had some friends that played guitar, and they kind of loaned me one of their guitars to just kind of jam around on and stuff. And I just started picking it up, and they would show me songs and things like that. And I also got another question for if I have friends that play guitar, and that pretty much answers that question as well. Is I kind of have some. I had more in high school and junior high whenever I was first learning how to play guitar. I had more friends that played guitar with me. Not as much anymore. I still do a little bit, but really, like, my sister plays guitar as well, and she kind of plays guitar, ukulele, and all that, so we jam a lot, but I don't have quite as many friends as I used to that play guitar, but I still have some. So the next one I had is how long have I played guitar? And again, started when I was 13. I'm 26 now, so about 13 years. I'm playing for about 13 years. Next one is when did I get my first guitar and why did I pick that one? So my first guitar that I ever bought was a Fender CD140 SCE. I don't have it with me because I'm out of town right now, obviously, but I'll throw a little picture of it somewhere up on the screen so you guys can see what it looks like. So the reason that I liked that guitar is actually because it looked and sounded and felt a lot like a Taylor guitar. If you don't know what a Taylor guitar is, they're kind of a high-end guitar, like Martin, Gibson, things like that. It would be in that same category, Breedlove. And I loved just the sound and the look and the feel of Taylor's. And so that guitar, when I saw it and when I played it at Guitar Center, it felt and sounded a lot like a Taylor. And so that's why I picked that one. And they're actually great guitars. I would recommend them to any beginners. They still make them actually this long ago. Again, I bought that guitar probably, 12 or 13 years ago, something like that, when I first started, not too long after I first started, and that guitar actually is still being made. They make it a little bit differently now, but it's still being made, and it is a fantastic guitar for beginners. It's around about $300 US, depending on where you get it, but Guitar Center usually has them about like $299, something like that. It's a great guitar, though. So next question, what was the first song that I learned? First song that I ever learned was Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol. I'll actually show you guys right here. It went like this. It was like, let's see, it would be bad if I messed it up right now, but. And then it just repeats like that for most of the song, and then it kind of goes into a strumming thing in the choruses. But anyways, that was my first song that I ever learned how to play, actually. It was just that little picking thing for Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol. That was around the time when that song was super, super popular, so that's why I did that. That kind of shows you guys how long it's been since I started playing guitar, because that song was popular around 13 years ago. The next question that I got was actually probably my favorite question that I got out of the whole entire thing. And that is, what song do I play when I'm happy, and what song do I play when I'm sad? Like, what's my favorite songs to play when I'm happy or when I'm sad? I absolutely love this question, and I'll tell you a little bit more about why I love this question in just a second. But first, to answer your question, it's a really tough question to answer because I love playing so many different songs, and honestly, there's really not just one song I play for each specific situation. I really will play kind of a different song depending on why I'm happy or why I'm sad or whatever. But again, to answer your question, kind of probably my overall favorite one to play whenever I'm really happy is Better Together by Jack Johnson. Kind of goes like this. Something kind of like that. I messed it up a little bit, but you guys get the idea. It's a great song. If you haven't heard of it before, it's just a really happy song. And it's just a good feeling song. I can't be sad when I'm listening to or playing that song because it's just got such a good happy feeling. And the meaning behind the song is wonderful. Jack Johnson is one of my biggest inspirations as far as music and just life in general. He's just a cool guy. And so anyways, that's a great one to play. It's super fun, and it's definitely my go-to happy song. My go-to sad song is actually a little bit more difficult to say because I love sad music. That sounds really sad and depressing to say, but I absolutely love sad music, and so I play a lot of sad songs, and it kind of depends on the mood. Again, it kind of depends on why I'm feeling down or whatever, but my go-to sad song, I'd have to say again, is another Jack Johnson song, and it's called All at Once. It's just a beautiful song, and the guitar for it's beautiful, and the meaning behind the song is beautiful too. And again, the reason that I like Jack Johnson so much, and this song kind of fits this for me, is because this song, it's one of those songs, and it's not just like a breakup song or something like that. It's just a general, like, when you're feeling down, this song fits really well. And it's the kind of thing that, like, if Jack Johnson can be feeling down, if he can feel like the world is like just overwhelming him and stuff, it's one of the first lines in the song, the world is overwhelming him. If Jack Johnson, one of the chillest, nicest, coolest guys on the earth, can like be feeling that way, then it's okay for me to have days where I feel like that too. And so the songwriting in the song is just beautiful, and the guitar is beautiful. Again, I'll show you a little piece of it. It kind of goes like this. See if I can play it on camera. And it goes like... Kind of like that. That's just a little clip of the song. I played that a little bit longer than I was planning on, but anyways, it's a beautiful song, and it's just, again, it's an excellent representation of being able to feel down, and that song just kind of showing that other people go through that type of thing too, and it just kind of always hits the spot. And it's, again, a beautiful finger-picking song, and so it's fun to play, and it just also just feels good. But I'm going to give you a bonus one, actually. And it's going to be my favorite song to play when I'm happy and when I'm sad. It's kind of one of those that just, it works in both situations, and I'll tell you why in just a second. And I'm going to talk more about this song later, but it's Begin Again by Taylor Swift. This is actually, I'll talk again about this later because I got another question about some other things that it'll make sense in a second. But this is probably my all-time favorite song, and it's one of my favorite ones to play as well. It's very, very beautiful. And this song fits perfectly whenever you're happy and sad, because the song kind of starts out as kind of sad and saying that, you know, if you've heard the song, you probably know, but it starts out kind of saying like how she's sad because she's kind of lost hope, right? She had a bad relationship, had a bad breakup, and she's kind of just been feeling like she lost hope in love and finding somebody. And as the song progresses, she meets this guy in a cafe, and it just kind of renews the hope. And I love that. I could talk forever about this song, and I'll talk again about it later on because, again, we have another question that relates back to this song. But this one is just, it's so beautiful, and I love that it covers such a full spectrum of emotion. It covers that sad part, and it gets into the happy part and kind of builds that hope. And I love that, and it's just one of those songs that I always come back to. It's really one of my go-to songs that I play all the time. Just a little taste of it kind of goes like this. Something like that, and it repeats that through the verses and does a couple other things. But again, it's a beautiful finger-picking song, and it just, I love the meaning behind the song. The songwriting is beautiful. I love everything about that song, but again, we'll come back to that in a little bit. Next question I got is, what is my warm-up song? I have a couple. One of them is Begin Again, which I just played. Another one is Better Together, which I played a minute ago too. And I'll give you another one. It's a Jack Johnson song. Again, you'll notice a theme. I play a lot of Jack Johnson. It is Do You Remember by Jack Johnson. And it's fun because it's got some finger picking and some strumming stuff in it. And it goes kind of like this. Something kind of like that. And so that's another one of my go-tos. I like that one to warm up with because it has finger picking and, or not finger picking, but it has picking and strumming in it. And it's a little bit quick, so it kind of gets both sides moving a little bit. You know, your fingers hand, your pick hand a little bit. It just kind of, it's a good warm-up song. I like that one. I like warming up with Jack Johnson a lot. I warm up with John Mayer songs quite a bit too. Like Slow Dancing in a Burning Room and Who Says is another one. And yeah, those are really my main kind of two. I usually warm up with something Jack Johnson or John Mayer. Next question I got, do I like playing K-pop songs? This is a good question and kind of a tricky one to answer because I know I have a lot of big K-pop fans out there. I am not a huge personal fan of K-pop, but with that said, I really like a lot of the songs that you guys have shared with me. I actually really have not listened to much K-pop outside of the songs that you guys have shown me and that I've done lessons on. But I will say one song that I really like one song that's a K-pop song that I really like is Promise by Jimin. Because that one just is beautiful acoustic guitar. It's very simple. It's not very produced, and I like that a lot. I like the songs that I listen to on my own time, songs that I'm not like teaching and stuff, that I just like to play by myself, are usually songs that are just not super overproduced. I like songs that are pretty simple. And so that's one of them. That's one of those that I've played and taught that I really, really like. I like The Truth Untold by BTS as well, and I've heard a few Blackpink songs that I like, but honestly, I've maybe only heard really 15 or 20 K-pop songs ever. So if you guys have some recommendations for anything like that, like Promise by Jimin is kind of, again, that's really the one that I really liked, recommend some to me, man. I love hearing new music, and I love it when you guys show me new music, and so that was one that you guys showed me, and I was really grateful because I listen to that song all the time. So next question is, this is kind of a two-part one, is how do I learn the songs that I teach to you guys, and how do I learn any song in general? There's a couple of ways, and it takes a lot of practice, but the biggest thing is ear training. So learning songs by ear is the way that I learn. I never really go through, and I don't really check tabs and stuff like that. I don't really watch other people's videos to try to learn these songs before I teach them to you, unless it's a really difficult song and I need like kind of a reference to make sure I'm doing the right thing and stuff, or something along those lines. But most of the time, 99% of the time, I learn the songs by ear. Right, and so I do actually have a video talking about kind of the basics of how I do that. You get better at it over time, though. The video that I made a long time ago, it's kind of an old, almost embarrassing video because I made it like with my iPad and no microphone, and my hair was like down to here, and I look kind of goofy and I act kind of goofy in that video, but I think everybody has something they're embarrassed about like that a little bit. But anyways, that video goes over the very basics of how to do that. And I'll probably remake that video or make a kind of updated version of that video soon, but I would recommend checking that out. I'll link in the description below. It teaches the basics of how to do that and just learning songs by ear. I think it's a super valuable skill, probably more valuable than any other skill on guitar, in my opinion. That's like really what will take you to the next level as far as learning the songs that you want, and also just having fun with guitar, because if you learn that and get good at it, you know, and you practice it for a long time, you can just sit down and you can play whatever song you want to play just right there without having to look up stuff and look up my videos or look up tabs or whatever. Second part to that question is beginner theory. Is there any beginner music theory that is good to learn for beginner guitarists? There's a lot of beginner music theory that's good to learn for beginner guitarists. I am not really the person to ask about that. Theory is not my strong point, to be honest with you guys. It's just not something I'm very good at, and it's not something I've spent a lot of time on. And there is some beginner theory that's talked about in that video. Again, that same video where I'll link it below, that you can learn how to play by ear. But to me, like, this sounds terrible, and this is not a really great way to say this, but theory for the stuff that I want to play doesn't really come into play a lot. And that's not to say that it's not important at all. Theory is very important, and there's a lot of stuff that uses theory that you might not even know uses theory. But it's just something that I really have not spent a lot of time on because it doesn't come into play with what I do. I do work on scales a little bit. It helps a lot with theory. Learning by ear helps a lot. Knowing a little bit of theory helps learning by ear, learning songs by ear. But it's not necessarily required, and it just kind of depends. It depends on what you want to play. But I'm not the right person to ask about that. But I know somebody I think Paul Davids does some videos on theory that are really good, and Marty Schwartz as well. There's a lot of people that do that kind of stuff that do it really, really well, better than I could for sure. So I would check out some of their videos, but if you want to watch one of my videos on some basic theory, that little video on kind of learning songs by ear is a good place to start. So next song, what do I play? What do I like to play, and what kind of music do I like to play? So the kind of music that I like to play usually is, it's kind of such a broad question. I love playing all kinds of music, but my favorite stuff, as you've noticed, is like Jack Johnson. I love like chilled out, beachy music, so I think Jack Johnson, Dirty Heads, Sublime. I love Swayze and Cisco when they did that album together. Really, all of their music is great. I love that kind of music, beachy, chill music. I love Taylor Swift songs. You guys have probably heard me talk about that before. Taylor Swift, I know how to play every single one of her songs. I've got a huge crush on Taylor Swift, and I always have. I've been to see her in concert like 6 times. She's awesome. I love playing that kind of stuff. Keith Urban is one of my favorite guitar players, actually. So this tattoo that you guys have probably seen right here, this one on my wrist, I got this because Keith Urban has the same one, and I got it as kind of a reminder of why I started playing guitar. And so that's why that tattoo's there, and I love playing his music as well. Again, I mentioned John Mayer. He's one of my favorite guitarists. He's an amazing dude. He's a goofy dude, but he's amazing. I don't know if you guys have been watching him on Instagram with him he does Current Mood. He's doing this thing on Instagram right now. It's hilarious. But anyways, he's a great guitarist. If you don't know, I'd check out his music. What else? Gosh, I mean, I love all kinds of music and stuff, but those are probably my favorites to play on guitar. And yeah, I think that covers most of my favorites at least. Like I said, I like to play everything, but those are some of my favorites. Also, another quick one, Civil Wars and Mumford & Sons. Those are another little genre of music like that vibe. I love playing their music. So another question we got to is what instruments do I play besides guitar and ukulele? So I play guitar and ukulele, of course. I play a little bit of drums. I play a little bit of piano. And I play a little bit of harmonica sometimes. What else? What else do I play? I don't think I'm leaving. I've played mandolin a little bit. I've played banjo a little bit. I've obviously played guitar a little bit. I think those are really it. I've kind of tried a little bit of everything, but those are maybe the couple main ones that I've kind of jammed around. And like, I'm not good at any of the other ones besides really guitar and ukulele are obviously my main thing. Did I say piano? I play piano a little bit too. Not really great at it, but I enjoy trying. I enjoy learning new things. Those are some things that I want to work on and improve, but just haven't put the time into them. Another question I got too is, have I played a guitar banjo? So if you don't know, there's a thing that's basically, it looks like a banjo, but it's strung and tuned like a guitar. So it's tuned E-A-D-G-B-E, just like a normal guitar would, but it plays like a banjo. And yes, I have played those, and yes, I want to get one so I can play it more. Keith Urban, like I just talked about, he actually plays those all the time for a lot of his songs. And it sounds so cool, and they're super fun to play because you don't have to learn the new tuning for the banjo. I haven't really decided whether I want to just get a banjo and learn the tuning, or if I want to just get a guitar banjo. I think they have a name for it, but guitar banjo. But I haven't decided whether I want to do that or just get the guitar banjo and just be able to play it just like that. So I do like those. I have played them before, and I will probably get one in the future. So last question for the guitar section is, do I write original songs? Not really. I have been involved in writing some original songs before, guitar parts for original songs, but nothing really big or anything like that, of course. And that's one of those things that I really want to do someday, and I just really haven't, I don't know, man. I haven't like built up the confidence in myself as far as like my own writing ability to really pursue that. I like writing guitar parts. I'll write guitar parts and I'll kind of come up with my own guitar parts to just jam around on, but as far as like lyrics and words and things like that, it's just not there. Anytime I write something, I'm just like, I'll get my paper and I'll just be like, ugh, to like get rid of this, it's trash. I don't like it, it's goofy and awkward, and I don't like the way I say things sometimes. And so I think that's part of learning how to write music, actually. I've heard a lot of people and like artists say that when you first start out, you gotta write a lot of trash before you can actually come up with something good, you know? You gotta wade through the miles of just horrible writing and stuff like that before you actually come up with one good song. So maybe someday I'll start, really pursuing that, but it's something I've always been interested in, and I just haven't really ever written anything I've been super happy with, but I do enjoy writing guitar parts. So, guys, I'll see y'all very soon. That's all the guitar questions. We'll be back with some more questions in just a minute. And guys, the next thing we're going to talk about is some questions I got about music. And I love talking about music. That may seem kind of obvious because, of the channel and stuff, but music is obviously one of my favorite things to talk about. I could go on and on and on about it. So let's hit a couple music questions. The first music question I got was, what is your favorite song right now? My favorite song right now is called Rush Over Me. It's by Illenium, Said the Sky, Seven Lions, and Haleen. And it's a beautiful song. It's an EDM song, if you don't know, and that might be kind of surprising to you guys, since me being a guitar player that I'm into EDM, but I actually went to an EDM music festival at the end of April, and so I guess it's about 2 months ago now. And I've always loved EDM, especially Illenium. I've been a huge Illenium fan since I first heard one of his songs in a Sam Colder video. And I just loved it. I love his music, and I love all kinds of different EDM, but I heard that song live for the first time at that festival a few months ago, and it just, I don't know, you hear, sometimes, you guys who go to concerts a lot will understand this, but like, sometimes if you hear a song live, it just changes your perspective of that song. And that was one of those that when I heard it live, I had heard that song before, but for some reason it just clicked whenever I heard it live. It's just so beautiful. The lyrics are beautiful. The singing by Haylene is just incredibly beautiful. It's just a great, great song. If you haven't heard it, I would really recommend checking that out. It's one of those songs I could go on and on about because it's just such a good song. Next question I got about music is, what are some of your all-time favorite songs? And this, again, is just a topic I could go on and on and on about for hours. But I'll give you kind of my top maybe 10-ish. But my number one favorite, I kind of talked about it earlier, is Begin Again. Again, I could do a whole entire video of this song just talking about why I love it so much. And if you guys are into that sort of thing, let me know, because that would be a video I would have a lot of fun making that type of video. But Begin Again is just one of those songs that it's my all-time favorite because it's so beautiful. The guitar for it's beautiful. All of the music for the song is just really beautiful. The lyrics are beautiful, the way they're written. I love the story behind the song. The storytelling of it is just beautiful. Just her vocals, everything about that song is just so beautiful in my opinion. And it's why it's just one of those that I always come back to. For years, I've always loved and come back to that song because it just has a special place in my heart. It's kind of one of those songs that's just always there for me, and it's always meant a lot to me, and I don't know, I just love that song. So that's my easy number one. But a couple other all-time favorites is Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, Waves by Kanye West, Enchanted by Taylor Swift, Better Together by Jack Johnson, In Your Atmosphere by John Mayer, Stupid Boy by Keith Urban. What else? I'm trying to think of some other good, quick, kind of rapid fire ones that I listen to all the time. Island in the Sun by Swayze and Cisco. Man, maybe 2 or 3 more. So, let's see. Hold on, I'm going to cheat and look at my phone. All right, 4 more. Manhattan by Sarah Bareilles, Run by Matt Nathanson and Sugarland, Just Another Girl, The Killers, and last one, There's No Way by Lauv and Julia Michaels. All amazing songs. Probably my top 10-ish of all time. Again, that's kind of something that's always changing, and I could kind of go on and on about it. But all of those songs are definitely worth checking out, and just fantastic songs. Songs that have just stuck with me, like either as soon as I heard them or just kind of throughout life have just like really stuck with me. So those are some of my favorites. Last thing, somebody commented that they would be interested in kind of maybe a series about just some songs I'm digging, like song recommendations and things that I'm listening to currently and those types of things. And that is actually something that I have been wanting to make for a long time. I absolutely love sharing music with people. It's my favorite aspect of what I do, and it's one of the things that I love about playing guitar and teaching guitar to you guys is just being able to like just share music that I'm digging with you guys. And I don't do it as often as I wish I did. I mostly do song requests, but every once in a while I'll do a song that's like I just want to share the song with you guys because I'm digging it. So I want to start doing something like that, and I'll do some more of that like coming up. But a few songs, maybe 3 that I've just been digging lately that I can share with you guys that are some of my just favorites that I've been listening to a lot this week are Rush Over Me, the one I was just talking about. That's kind of my favorite song right now. I've been listening to that a lot. Tomorrow Tonight by Lute. That's a song that just came out a few weeks ago, and it's super pretty. I love that one. And I Want You by Alice in Wonderland. She is amazing. She's so cool. I love her music. I just found her a few months ago, and so I've really been listening to a lot of her stuff. I know that's all kind of EDM type of music, so if you're not into that kind of thing, that's probably like, that's lame, but I really been digging that kind of music lately, so that's the ones I thought I'd share with you. But I also, like I said, I'd like to kind of turn maybe that sort of thing into a series. I've wanted to do that for a long time, and I just haven't figured out exactly how I want to do it yet, but I don't know. Now that I'm hearing that you guys are kind of interested in it, hopefully that's something I'll be able to put together in the near future. Maybe once every, maybe every other week or once a month or something like that. I can just share some songs with you guys that I think are worth checking out. So anyways, guys, next thing was a couple of YouTube questions. So first YouTube related question I got is, do I have any YouTuber friends? I really don't have any friends that are YouTubers that are like friends that I already had in Texas that have YouTube channels. There's a few YouTubers that I kind of know that have I've met over the years and they've started YouTube channels. So I don't know if you guys know of Megan Plays. She's a gaming channel. I used to work with her a long time ago. And so we're not like super tight friends or anything like that, but we work together and she has a YouTube channel and you guys might recognize her name. And there's a few other little smaller channels and stuff, but there are a few channels that I've made friends with through YouTube. So like Guitar Goddess is probably my closest YouTube friend, and I don't really know her outside of YouTube, but we've kind of commented on each other's videos and talk on Instagram and stuff like that, and she's super, super cool. Hey Michelle, if you're watching, she's awesome. She's a great person. We do really similar types of videos and stuff, so I think a lot of you guys probably know her already. But she's great, and she's cool, and she's a really, really great guitar teacher. If you don't subscribe to her, I would recommend checking her out for sure. And then there's a couple other kind of guitar teachers on YouTube. I try to watch other people's videos and stuff like that just to see what everybody else is doing. And I love the community sense of YouTube and being able to obviously connect with you guys in the way that we're connecting now and have been connecting and stuff, but also in the sense of like other guitar teachers being able to connect with each other and stuff, and other, you know, kind of different niches and genres of YouTube content, being able to connect with each other and help everybody. Because like, for example, the guitar lesson stuff, you know, anybody who's doing guitar tutorials like I am, or ukulele tutorials, I really think it's cool how sometimes you can build a sense of community and we can all help each other out, because that's the point. Like, you know, us as creators, we're all trying to help you guys out. And the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because people like me helped me whenever I was in you guys' situation and learning how to play guitar. People like Marty Schwartz Marty Schwartz probably taught me, 80% of what I know about guitar and all that. And so he's kind of the same thing. He's doing what I do, or he did what I did for you guys. And so, I don't know. Anyways, all that said, I kind of got rambly there, but I love the idea of being able to just like build a community of friends and creators who are all having the common goal of helping you guys, the viewers. And so I'm all about that. Another question I got kind of related to YouTube is, have I ever thought about giving up on YouTube? And that's kind of a tough question, but the answer is really no. As soon as I started YouTube, I really fell in love with the creating process of it, and I fell in love with the idea of just being able to do something I love and use that thing I love to help you guys. And again, I started that YouTube deal, I started doing what I'm doing now because I wanted to give back to the same community that gave me so much whenever I was first learning how to play guitar. And so, have I like struggled with YouTube? For sure, because there's been times where it, like very much in the beginning, it was not growing at all or hardly at all. It was very, very slow growing, and it took me a long time to get traction and figure out exactly what I wanted to do and master making videos and, all those sorts of things. And so, I wasn't really seeing the results I wanted to in the beginning, and I was like, man, is this worth all the time that I'm putting into it? Am I helping really enough people and all that kind of thing? And then, of course, I kept at it, persistence and stuff, and eventually it finally started to take off and got to where I am now with it. And so it definitely has always been worth it, but there have been times, maybe not so much that I considered quitting, but have I considered, is it worth it? Is this worth what I'm putting into it? And I definitely easily would say now, for sure, I love what I do. I absolutely love YouTube. It's so great. I love that I get to do what I love for a living. And I've made a job out of something I care about, which is just the coolest thing in the world. Who doesn't want to say that? That they have a job doing something they care about. And so I love that. And there's been some times, like I said, that I've gone through hard times because of my persistence with YouTube and not being willing to give it up and just kind of take a regular job and stuff. But yeah, I absolutely love YouTube. It's just a huge blessing in my life, and I couldn't be more happy being able to do something that I love. And so, no, I would never I would never give up YouTube. Let me put it that way. I don't think I'd ever give up YouTube. It's just such a cool thing to be able to do. And so, last question about YouTube is do I have another job besides YouTube? And the answer to that is no. YouTube is actually my job, my main job. And so I do YouTube and I make money from the ad revenue, of course, like most YouTubers do. And I have my online store where I sell my free capos and other guitar accessories and ukulele accessories. And then I have kind of some brand sponsorships and a few things like that occasionally that kind of come into that as well. And so I'm one of those types of dudes that I would rather make less money and be able to do something that I love and care about, right? So yeah, like if I took like a normal job and stuff, I could put a little bit less time into YouTube and then take like a normal job, and I'd probably make more money than I do now and all that. And that's great, but that's not me. I really am very, very passionate about doing something that I'm passionate about, and YouTube and music and sharing music with you guys and helping people directly every day is just something that like it's so worth having that being my main focus, even if it means a little bit less money in the long run. So that's why I stick with YouTube only. And over the years, it's actually grown to where it's, you know, I don't make crazy money or anything like that, but it's pretty good income for what it is. And so I really love what I do, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, whether the money's there or not, to be honest with you guys. And guys, finally on to just some questions about me personally. So the first one I have is, what ethnicity am I? So I am just white, nothing really super interesting there, but I have been told by my grandma that we have a lot of Native American heritage in our family, and I don't know how true that is. I've never really done one of those like Ancestry.com or like DNA tests or anything like that, but I think that's probably where I get kind of my darker skin tone from, but I'm not really sure. Another one that I liked a lot is, are you an early bird or a night owl? And I am a little bit of both. It kind of depends. I really love being up early in the morning, but a lot of times I like to stay up late editing videos, like these videos that I have for you guys. And this is going to be one that I probably stayed up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning editing this video by the time you guys are seeing it. And so I like to do a lot of my editing at night, which means I like to stay up late at night to edit those videos. I don't know why, but I've always thought it's easier to do computer work like that late at night. So I can't really wake up super early on mornings, on nights that I stay up late like that. But I prefer to wake up early, be up early in the morning. I love, just like, especially at a place like this, like on the beach, I love being able to be up and, you know, take a sunrise walk on the beach and stuff like that. So if I'm not staying up late doing computer work, I'm definitely an early bird. But if I am staying up late doing computer work, like editing and stuff, I'm definitely a night owl. So next one, I love this one too. What is your favorite cartoon? Easily Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb, I could go on, but it is just the funniest thing ever. I love it. It's such a great, like, just subtle humor, and it just cracks me up. I watch it all the time. I love it. A close second is Scooby-Doo, just because I grew up watching Scooby-Doo and I love Scooby-Doo. But Phineas and Ferb is for sure number one. Another one, love advice. I don't know why you're asking me for love advice. I'm not the right person to ask for sure. I don't know. All of my love advice would come from sappy love songs and stuff like Begin Again and all that. So I don't know. Maybe go to a cafe on a Wednesday or something like that, and maybe you'll find something out. I'm not sure. But how do I stay groovy? Oh man, that's like a. Sorry, it's really hot out here. That's like a really, like, I don't know if I can answer that question without it sounding really conceited. But I would say the best way to stay groovy would be to try to spend a lot of time on the beach. Play some groovy songs that help you just kind of like find your chill, calm vibe, and spend a lot of time with good friends. You know, all those things, I think they lead to a pretty groovy life. So here's a good one. I mentioned in my video that I made kind of talking about the Q&A that I'm moving to Florida soon. So somebody asked where in Florida I'm moving. I'm actually moving close to Pensacola. The specific area I'm moving to is called Perdido Key. I'm looking at a house out there, and I'm looking at a few apartments. So I'm still kind of waiting to see what the availability is in those and stuff like that. But I should be moving out there within the next month or two. I just am kind of waiting on, again, figuring out which one is going to be available first out of the couple of houses and apartments I've looked at. Another one kind of related to that is, would I ever move to California? And yes, for sure I would move to California. The reason I'm moving to Florida right now is because I have some friends, like really actually some of my closest friends that live really close to where I'm moving to in Florida. And so I figure if I'm going to move to the beach, I definitely want to move to the beach. And I figure if I'm going to move to the beach, I might as well start by moving somewhere close to people that I care about. And if I've got some friends that are already close to a beautiful beach, I might as well live close to them for a little while. So the plan kind of is that I'll move to Florida for a few years, maybe like 3 or 5 years, something like that. Live out there, kind of see how I like it and see what it's all about. And then eventually I do want to start making my way towards the West Coast. Like I've looked at like North California a lot. If you know the band the Whelan Brothers, which I don't know if you guys know, but they're actually one of my favorite bands. They're an awesome kind of surf, kind of like Cali reggae band, and they live in South California, so like SoCal, and I want to go out and see them and talk to them and stuff. I've kind of talked to them, and I've told them I want to come out and say what's up to them and stuff and hang out with them and surf with them and all that. So I definitely want to go see them, but I can see myself living more in like North California or even like Oregon or like Washington coast, somewhere like that. I love that kind of vibe up there and just the beautiful nature up there. So that's definitely something that I have thought about. And the last question, guys, before we kind of move on to some of these Instagram questions, last YouTube question I want to address is my nose. I get so many questions like, what is up with that nose, dude? And I'm like, I don't know, actually. You know, you guys ask a lot. I'm not kidding you guys. If this might be surprising to some of you guys, but I get tons of questions about my nose in almost every single video, and I don't mind. I'm not like insulted or self-conscious about it, but I get so many questions about my nose, and I have no idea. I know what you guys are talking about, how it's kind of pointy and it's got like kind of it like dips down and stuff, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a nose, and I didn't get surgery on it. I didn't get like in an accident or anything like that, or it got like pushed in or whatever, or dented. I get some funny stuff, man, and I'm not like self-conscious about it or anything like that. I just thought it was funny and I thought I would address it. But yeah, I genuinely have no idea what's up with my nose. I had never noticed anything like that before until people started commenting about it. So guys, that is all for the YouTube questions. I'm gonna hit you guys here in a little bit with some Instagram questions before we kind of wrap up the Q&A video. Hey guys, finally a few last minute questions from you guys on Instagram. So I'm just gonna read through them on my phone here. Whose songs are your favorite to teach and why? That's really tough to say, but I would probably say Taylor Swift, because her songs, usually when I'm teaching a Taylor Swift song, most of the time it's because that song means a lot to me. Not always, because there's some of the newer stuff that I just teach because I know it's new and people are going to want to learn it. But a lot of times when I teach songs like Enchanted or Fearless or something like that, or Back to December, those are songs that have a significant meaning to me, and so those are usually my favorite songs to teach. And so usually the songs that most often have a significant meaning to me are those older Taylor Swift songs, and those are the ones I really, really love posting. Tough choice, but that's probably it. This one says, who is your favorite sibling? I think that one's from my sister, and I would have to say definitely. Next question, how long have you been playing guitar? I answered this earlier, but 13 years. Next question, for how long and why did you start playing guitar? Again, I answered this one already, but 13 years, and why I started playing guitar, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but it was definitely that my friends, a lot of my friends around the time that I started playing, played as well, and so they were very encouraging in playing me. And I didn't actually talk about this a lot earlier, but I want to kind of readdress something I didn't finish talking about on my inspiration for what kept me playing guitar. And so again, friends is kind of what started me playing guitar, because a lot of my friends played. But what actually kept me playing guitar and encouraged me to make it into more than just kind of like a phase is that around the same time as I started playing, my dad was actually sick with cancer, and he had always wanted to play guitar, and he actually ended up passing away the same year that I started playing guitar. But whenever I started playing, the first couple of songs I learned, he was still in the hospital, and so I would learn those couple of songs and I'd go and play him those songs while he was laying in a hospital bed. And so it's really heavy to talk about, of course, but he always wanted to play guitar and never really had the opportunity. He was just always working too much and stuff, and never really was able to make it a priority when he was going to school or when he was younger and stuff, and he was just always so busy working that he never was able to make time to pick up the guitar. And when I was able to go and play him those first couple of songs that I learned whenever he was in the hospital, man, it just, seeing the look on his face and how proud he was of me being able to do that and pick that up and stuff and start that, it just, you know, after he passed, it kind of made it a goal and a mission of mine to continue with that and not really give up on it, because I don't know, it's not the only reason, but it's a huge reason why it really just motivated me and pushed me forward to not give up on guitar. So I know that's a little bit heavy, but that's kind of the truth of that answer, and it's a big piece of why and what inspired me to continue to play. So, next question. Your covers helped me out a lot. That's awesome. I was wondering, how did you learn to play the guitar? I actually learned mostly the way that you guys are learning, from watching videos like the ones that I make. A lot of the teachers on here that have been around for a long time, like Marty Schwartz, for example, taught me most of what I know how to play on guitar. I had friends that helped me too. I learned from like guitar tabs, like Ultimate Guitar and stuff, and other things like that, but really, honestly, most of the things that I learned were from YouTube teachers like the ones that you're watching now, like me and Guitar Goddess and Let's Play Guitar and Paul Davids and peoples like that. And really, again, to give a shout out to Marty Schwartz, he taught me a lot of what I know, and guitar teachers like him at the time as well. So really, mostly YouTube is how I learned how to play guitar. Let's see. Guitar Goddess. This photo is totally on brand. I posted the photo that was the picture that was the thumbnail on this. So thanks, Guitar Goddess. I appreciate that. Shout out Michelle again. Who has more subscribers, you or PewDiePie? That one's for my brother. PewDiePie will always have more subscribers than me, and rightfully so. Bro fist. Tips for beginner guitar players. Biggest tip I always like to say for beginner guitar players is obviously learn the basics, learn your chords, but learn how to play by ear. I talked about that in the beginning of this video. And again, I don't think there's anything more valuable when you're first starting to learn how to play within your first couple of months of playing guitar than learning to play by ear, because it unlocks so much for you and you're able to just like pick things up, and you don't have to wait on YouTube teachers like me or guitar tabs or chords or anything like that. You can just listen to a song and learn how to play it. It takes a lot of practice and you got to train your ears, not just your fingers, but it is super, super valuable. So I would say focus on that and it will open a lot of doors for you. Next question, can you play bass? Yes, I can play bass. I forgot to mention that earlier, but I actually used to play bass quite a bit. I played for probably 4 or 5 years and then I sold my bass because, I mean, you guys have noticed I don't really play a lot of electric instruments. I like to be able to just play unplugged, and bass, you can get an acoustic bass, which I want to, but with an electric bass, you got to plug it in and you got to haul around an amp, and it's just a lot of work. I like playing acoustic mostly. Next question, what got you into playing instruments? I have always loved music, and as I said earlier, I had a lot of friends that played guitar when I was in junior high, and so just being around them and being like, man, I love music, why am I not playing an instrument right now? So that's kind of what got me into it for the most part. Somebody said, you are so adorably groovy and cute. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Who raised you to be so groovy? That question was from my mom. And dope picture, brother. That one is from T. Crane. That's my buddy Tevin. I appreciate it, dude. What's up? All right, that is all the Instagram questions I got, and that is most of the YouTube questions I got. If I didn't get to your question, be sure to leave it in the comments down below. I'll either answer it down there, or I will probably make another one of these videos in the not too distant future. I really enjoyed doing this video. It was a lot of fun, especially to do in a beautiful place like this. And I just love hanging out with you guys and talking to y'all. So really, I just love making these videos, and I hope to make more of them soon. So thank you for all of the awesome questions. Like I said, I love just talking to you guys and getting to know y'all, and y'all getting to know me and stuff. So thank you guys for everything. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all soon.